3,970 meters, this was the focus for the 1991 Climb for the World. The Eiger is one of the toughest mountains in the world, fraught with perils such as rockfalls, avalanches, treacherous weather, to say nothing of altitude sickness. It's a challenge for the world's top mountaineers, so you might be surprised to hear that 2 young people will be joining the expedition to the summit. Karma Sandup is 14 years old and Tibetan. His friend Birender Shrestha is 15 years old and from Nepal, and they were to be in the good hands of mountaineers like Doug Scott, one of the few people to have stood on the summit of Mount Everest. The Eiger was a daunting prospect for 2 boys who, until the week before, had never done any climbing. They were about to represent young people on Climb the World to give a message of peace from the top of the world. Birender set off in one direction up the western flank, while Karma and Doug went by a different route, over the glacier.
Good luck then, folks.
While I split off to check the progress of the other climbers, Doug and Karma, wearing the yellow helmet, set off on the long, perilous trek across the ice. Rockfalls and the constant threat of avalanches make this a hazardous route, not a place to hang around too long. There was only one way for me and the Blue Peter camera crew to monitor the progress of both climbs: to be airlifted off the glacier by helicopter. Mid-afternoon, day 1, and Karma has his first taste of real rock climbing up a sheer rock face to the Mittelegi Ridge. Meanwhile, I waited for Birender and Edwin Drummond on the western flank.
It's coming up to 4 o'clock, and I'm at the 3,000 meters mark now, and I have to say it's freezing up here. But I don't have to hang around too long because Ed and Birender are just down there. They've just crossed the ice, and they're on the rocks now, so they should be joining me shortly.
For Birender and Ed, the first day was almost over. The next stop was the halfway camp on the western flank, where they were to spend the night perched on a steep ledge. Karma and Doug still had a steep climb to their overnight camp. They were headed for a wooden hut halfway up the ridge.
Hello.
6 o'clock the following morning, and I arrived at the Mittelegi hut before daybreak to meet up with Karma and Doug. The weather was turning, so Doug wanted to make an early start for their attempt at the summit.
Not too good.
No, it's not a high cloud. You can see windy clouds up there, there's high winds high up. It could snow.
A bit easier here, Karma.
Yo!
The last easy bit.
Okay. Then it's the steep slopes, yeah?
The Eiger was just one of 500 Climb for the World summits all over the world, and the mass assault reaching its climax. On the western flank, Birender was almost across the ice field. Back on the Mittelegi Ridge, Karma had reached the toughest part. It says a lot about the spirit of Karma and Birender that until Climb for the World, they'd never done any climbing before. Now, they were both closing in on the summit of the Eiger. By mid-afternoon, they had reached their goal.
Small step for man, big step for mankind. But don't trip up. Well, here we are. Nowhere else higher. Fantastic.
Half an hour later, they were joined by Birender.
Going forward. Follow Berry.
Soon, the other teams were up there too. The flag of world flags. What a fantastic feeling for all of us, knowing that at that moment on summits all over the world, people had joined together to shout a message of peace and goodwill from the roof of the world.